All right, well, in August, cybersecurity firm Night Dragon teamed up with the NYSC to host Cyber Live from Texas, defending the next horizon. Cover the latest innovation happening in defense technology, dual use, and cyber in the Lone Star State. And I was on the ground in Austin speaking with leaders like Venus Aerospace CEO Sassy Duggleby, as she told me what her firm is working on and how it's making history. Let's take a listen.
At Venus Aerospace, we have delivered the first major advance in rocket engine technology in over 60 years. And this is critical because we're seeing a massive investment into both defense and space, all of which rely on propulsion systems. But we haven't seen a fundamental change in propulsion since before the Apollo program until now.
Wow.
Yeah. And so at Venus, we actually executed the first ever flight of a rotating detonation rocket engine. I know that's a mouthful. In May out at Spaceport, New Mexico. And this is the most efficient rocket engine ever built. And since that flight, we've seen incredible interest. And so that's because at the end of the day, if you have a more efficient engine, you can either drive down your cost of your vehicles or you can improve their performance. And so our engine has incredible applications. Like, for example, we could almost quadruple the payload you send to space with our engines. And so we're seeing huge interest because of the implications we have for aerospace and defense. And, hopefully we can help secure, U.S. leadership for decades to come using our propulsion tech.
You are a female founder in this space, quite literally. What has that journey been like?
Yeah. So 7 years ago, my partner and I were actually deployed to Japan. He's a Navy Reserve officer. We were sitting on our balcony having a standard Sunday afternoon conversation. And we're talking about it's 13 hours to get home, jet lag stinks, just normal combo. And he looked at me as the PhD rocket scientist and said, well, there's this new engine coming down the pipeline. And he said, I think if it's ever proven, we could put it on a plane and we could be home in an hour.
What?
Yeah. And I laughed at him at the moment. I did the same thing. And we ended up back from Japan. We were working for Virgin Orbit. And he came home from work one day and he said, hey, that engine we were talking about in Japan, it's finally commercially viable. And so we said, well, surely someone should grab this technology and go commercialize it. And we looked at all the smart people we worked with, and ultimately we realized that was us. And so in the middle of COVID, right after we got Virgin Orbit to launch, we quit our jobs. And we've literally gone from being 2 people on a PowerPoint presentation to flying that engine in less than 5 years. And again, this is the engine that's going to revolutionize both national security and commercial applications.
That's an incredible growth story, Sassy. I want to hear more about the applications for this type of technology in the commercial space, as you referenced, and dual-use national security ecosystem.
Sure. So there's over $100 billion per year market opportunity for our engines across both dual-use commercial and national security. So our engines could power munitions, drones, high-speed military aircraft for the defense ecosystem. In space, they could be used for propulsion, satellites, lunar or Martian landers. Ultimately, we have the engine that finally unlocks high-speed commercial flight. And so the market opportunities are enormous. And I think we're only beginning to see how our engines can impact both national security and commercial applications.
Why is Texas the right home for Venus Aerospace?
I'm proud to say we've actually executed the most efficient rocket engine development campaign in over 60 years. And that's because we've done it at the Houston Spaceport. And so, we are able to design, manufacture, and test our engines all in one single location. It's the only urban spaceport in America. And so that's been critical to our story. And then Texas, has an incredible defense and aerospace innovation ecosystem. We're here at the Capital Factory, which is an example of really great capital allocators. We've also seen a really great collaborative partnership across the ecosystem here in Texas. And then ultimately, the state as a whole is doing a great job of pushing forward innovation. I'm a board member for the Texas Space Commission. And I'm super proud of the efforts that the state is looking at. How do we open up the space economy and really build towards the future? Being here in Texas has been critical to our success.
What of those initiatives do you think will help propel more innovators in this space?
Obviously, we need capital. But I think the collaborative environment, there is one of the great things about being in Houston is you've got all the history of Johnson Space Center and human spaceflight, but you've also got the forward-looking thinking of let's open up a spaceport and really recruit capital, eliminate some of the barriers that I've seen in other places. I mean, Texas is just a really great place to do business.
So, for other aerospace entrepreneurs looking at Texas, any lessons from your own journey that you would share with them?
Sure. So my first piece of advice for any entrepreneur is go build a great team. I think we have the best team in aerospace, hands down. And Texas has been really critical to that part of the story. You know, we've been able to find incredible engineering and commercial talent in Houston in particular. And we've been able to recruit people from other states because the cost of living is low. And it's a great place. Our team wants to live and work here in Texas. And then finally, for anybody thinking about how to build, I mean, just the collaborative environment and the excitement about what's pushing forward with innovation just makes Texas a really great place to be an entrepreneur and to build kind of future technologies for both aerospace and defense.